Cool.
There we go. Recording in progress. And we've got Snake Eyes. Hello, hello, and welcome to YDN Radio Brighton Banged On About, where we get to know the bands, the artists on our playlist. We get to know a little bit about you, kind of the intimate integrity. And this is really exciting because you're currently in London and you've got a practice, you've got a gig tonight. So energy's high, I assume.
Sure. It is high.
Sure. Yeah.
It's sleepy high.
That's the best way to be. Best way to be. So what we're going to do is just go round the table and introduce yourselves, and then I'll come in with my questions.
Sounds really good. Jim, you go for it, mate.
Cool.
There we go.
Drink delivery.
Drinks.
Where's mine?
We'll give you a virtual.
Where's
drink.
yours?
Right. Well,
Yeah, we'll order one.
Yeah, I should
Right,
have
Jim.
got one. Yeah.
So I'm Jim. I sing sort of and play guitar.
I'm Nicole. I play bass, sort of.
and I'm B or Tom or Brooker, and I play drums, sort of.
Sort of. So sort of. So
Sort of.
sort of. How did you guys get together?
Well,
How did it happen?
I started writing some sort of demos after leaving my last band in 2019, and I went on holiday with Nicole actually because went to college together, and she said she would play bass with me. I was like, you can't play bass, and she was like, well, teach me. So I did. I started going to hers and would teach her my songs, like the demos, and then when I wanted to record them, I spoke to Brooker to record it, and once we'd recorded the record, he was like, oh, I love it, could I play drums? And then that was it. That's how it all started, really.
Pretty
But
cool.
creation.
Yeah,
That's
and
how
that's
it
how you
came
got
together.
together. So this is your first EP, like as Snake Eyes.
That was on the first EP, that was on the Skeletons EP, yeah, which we released last year, so 2020. When did the first single come out there?
First single was July.
So Don't Worry came out in July 2020, and then we just sort of started rolling out songs from there.
Yeah, July 20. So that's a year ago now, and a year ago, I know I'm YDN, but you know what? I saw your tweets. You're tonight, BBC introducing. Is that right?
That's Sunday. Where are we now? It's Friday now, so two days.
Yeah.
2
We
days.
tweeted about it today, but it's in a couple of days just to get the
Well,
hype ball rolling.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, amazing. It's
Yeah,
always
thanks very much.
exciting. Yeah, and so that's how you got together. But you got together kind of. It's just before the whole chaos of COVID, isn't it? So how did you deal with the chaos of COVID? Surely that brought some challenges, like it did to everyone, really. How did you guys get around it?
Sure,
This guy.
it's basically all down to Brooker. Yeah, we played our first show 2020 January in Brighton. Obviously, everyone went into lockdown after that, but we had all this music and all these videos to release, you know. So we hooked up with our manager Kirsty, and then started to roll things out from there. But Tom, luckily, where most bands had to sort of, I suppose, hibernate really because they couldn't get any video stuff done, this guy was able to put it all together for us remotely. You know? So we were able to kind of take off.
Yeah, you're quite lucky, aren't you, as a band having Brooker? Because Brooker and I had
Yeah.
a chat before when you had all your internet issues the other day.
We
Jim.
did. We had a little.
You got your internet back now, I hope.
Today, literally just before I left the house today, it's back on. Yeah,
Fantastic.
we're rocking,
And
baby.
Brooker told me that he does all the videos, and that's so useful.
It's so handy, isn't it?
Yeah.
So handy, so useful, so cost effective.
Clever boy.
Oh yeah, cost effective. Definitely.
Very cost effective. It's like when you own a home, and it's always good to have a friend who's a plumber, a friend who's an electrician, you know, all of these.
Sure.
Very cost
Yeah.
effective.
Well, I always do the hairdressing and food preparation for the band.
Hairdressing, food prep.
Hairdressing.
He does all the video bits, and then I write the hits.
There you go. So you've literally answered already quite a few of my questions. I was going to say, Jim. So okay, bye. So Done now. But you write all the lyrics, do you? All the music, all the lyrics. Does anyone else write or have tried or interested, or is it not
I'll
going that way?
I'll write all the lyrics, but like in terms of the music side of it, like I'll put together a rough demo on just like on my laptop. I'll just put a rough structure together with lyrics as well, and then send it to the guys, and then we'll sort of pick it apart and rearrange it a bit, figure out what bits are totally rubbish, what bits are wicked, and then it ends up being collaborative towards the end. But at the start, I'll have a huge list of demos, and then we'll just pick those apart.
Yeah.
That's how it starts.
Yeah, so it all happens kind of remotely and file
Yeah, which is probably because of the times, but like that's how we've done it, and it seems to work,
Yeah. Are you going to continue in the same way, or now that studios have opened up a bit, you're going to go into a studio, do a bit more there?
So
Stuff?
we've got a single out at the moment called Dig. We have another single coming out very soon that's called Happy Pills, which we announced the radio premiere of today, which is on Sunday, like we mentioned earlier. We've been in the studio at the start of the year. We've got some bits and pieces up our sleeves, so we're just kind of focusing on that at the moment.
Yeah, quite right. Day by day, you never know what's going on. Well, what are you playing at the gig tonight? You're in London. You're playing at a I initially read it as the Amsterdam.
That'd be nice.
Like
the Amersham Arms.
this is why I wrote it down, you see, just to get it right. The Amersham Arms in London. Where is that in London then? Where are you?
New Cross.
New Cross.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so is it an evening just yourselves, or is it a full tonight? How's it working out?
There's 4 on the bill tonight.
Yeah.
Quite a lot.
There's who else playing? A band called Sad Face. A solo artist called Deju VHS, I think. It looks weird to say to read, but that's how I think you say it. Deju VHS. And then the first band on, I can't think of what they're called, but they're either very new or they're very secretive because they don't have any social media or anything. When I try to look to them, so they're either fresh or they're mysterious. I don't know the answer yet.
Yeah. I think I have encountered quite a few artists that they're using maybe SoundCloud, Bandcamp, things like that, but the social media is not quite there. And I do wonder sometimes if it is a choice because of maybe social media thing. But I don't know. Marketing, social media, all part and parcel, isn't it? You kind of.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, exactly. If you can't be found, then you don't exist.
True. No, you're right.
That's what they say. But you're also you talked about Kirsty, and she's your manager, and she's from Killing Moon Records?
So
Or is
she
she not connected? I mean, how did that come about? You're with a record label, and you're so fresh. Very lucky.
Sure. She did work with Killing Moon before, I think, and
pre-COVID.
Pretty cool.
And then started her own solo venture where she scooped us up, and then managed to get us a deal with Killing Moon after the fact. So she's done us massive favors. She's like the fourth snake, really.
So
Yeah.
how do you find it with a label? Because you're independent, most of it, isn't it? So what does this small label do for you? Like,
That's lots of money.
yes,
They've-
somebody played the
Make us-
tune. That does
make
work.
us
So like
rich.
the gigs, for example, is it something that Kirsty books? Is it the record label? This is also for others listening out there, because YD and Brighton is all about independent artists. We do have artists like yourself that are with small labels, and it's just really good to hear from yourselves what the difference is, what the benefits are, how it works out for you. Does it cut the workload? Do you still book your own gigs? Does Kirsty do it? Is it collaborative?
It's a bit of a mixture, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a lot to discuss.
Yeah. So with gigs, it's between, we have a booking agent. So they Eddie, very nice man. He kind of deals with all the comms in regards to that and brings some stuff in. People approach him. Then Kirsty gets contacted about gigs, and then where some of us have been around the block for a while, know some people. Sometimes people will just come straight to one of the members of the band and say, want to do a gig or want to do a tour or whatever. So that's quite mixed. And the label has been great because it's enabled us to not have to stress about recording and press and things like that often you have to fork out for. So that's been really lovely to not have to be stressed about that.
Well, the first record, the Skeletons EP, I had a load of savings to move to Brighton, and with everything I had left, I put it into doing the PR for it, like doing the videos and stuff. So like I had to invest, in the first record, and then we were lucky enough to have Killing Moon to support us for this next lot of songs. So it meant that we could go to a proper studio and to do more with the press. And Killing Moon have been great with reaching out to different radio people, and hence the BBC introducing next Sunday for Happy Pills. So it's all been great. They've been super helpful.
Yeah, so they're not a label that at this point in time they're invading what kind of music and trying to influence what you're creating.
No, absolutely not. They give us complete creative freedom. They let us do our thing, and they're just trying to help to boost us in what we want to do. Which is all you can ask for, really.
Yeah, that's the most important, isn't it? I mean, I can only imagine that the minute they start behaving in that way, you'd be like, no, thank you. We want to make our music. We want to make our music, and
yeah. If they're like, do you want to try doing a song like this? And we'll be like, do you want to try buggering off? Because this is what we do.
I like it. You're prepared already for your answer. I like that. I love it. It's good. It's good to be prepared for the future. It's great to hear that, because the collaboration side of things in art is really important, and we all need a bit of help. And if the label's giving that side to you for you, then that's great. Yeah,
Totally.
So a little bit about the band, a bit more. So Snake Eyes, where did that name come from? Whose idea was it?
Maybe from your work, isn't it?
So when I had started to think right, I want to do another band, I'd asked my dad, because my dad's #1 fan, super into it. I was like, can you come up with a list of band names, just anything you could think of, just write it down, anything you see or whatever, just write a list for me. So he would send me these lists, and with the names I wasn't really into, I would name the demos after these band names. And one of the demos was called Snake Dance. And I showed it to one of the older women, that demo, to an older woman that I was working with at the time. And later that day, after I played it to her, she was like, I love that Snake Eyes tune. And I was like, Snake Eyes, that's it. Wrote it down. It's bookended by 2 S's. It looks nice. And I was like, well, that's it. So this woman, Mandy, bless her, and my dad named our bands accidentally.
I love it. It's the best way. The accident.
It wasn't one of those band name generators, because it easily could be, but it's not.
And let's see if I can get this on point. So the 3 snakes as your logo is because it's 3 of you.
That's right.
That was my thinking behind that.
Yeah.
Everything's in threes all the time, pretty much, if it can be.
Well, I never actually knew that.
There you go, mate. You're learning something new every day. You're educating our own band in this interview, so that's good, isn't it?
You know what? It's not the first time it's happened in an interview. You are.
So
really? I didn't know that story. I didn't know that. That's good.
If there was a pub quiz on our band in here, we might not win.
No, it'll be good. It'll be entertaining though. See, it'll be mostly entertaining, even though if you don't win. So yeah, definitely. And you do have, obviously we talked about how lucky you are to have different videos, but your videos are really fun to watch, I will say, because before I met you, tried to meet you before and tried to meet you this evening as I was waiting, I did go in and watch them again and again, and they're just such fun. Although all the worms in that dig video, look away from
bit much, isn't it?
Sorry, I did want some of that to be a little bit almost shocking. Oh,
well,
creepy crawlies.
You succeeded, but with the ideas, is it yourself, Brooke, or is it another wonderful collaboration between you all? I mean, is it sometimes do you kind of decide to make it literal, like the words, so you get dig, so you get digging, or do you try to make it a bit more, putting that?
I think when concepting a music video for me, it's I do think about the lyrics, or not necessarily word for word, but the theme. But then I also think a lot about the feeling and the tempo of the song. I think it's got to be between the two, because certain things wouldn't work very well for a slow song and certain things wouldn't work very well for a fast song. So it's kind of like thinking about, I try and visualize it to the pace of the song and how it will unfold. So I don't know if that answers the question particularly well, but it's kind of a balance.
But I think Tom will come with like a rough idea for a video. He'll be like, right, if this is the single, got this idea, and then again, like with the songs, we'll sort of like then spitball different ideas for how could that go. Like, what was I can't think of what the band's called, but there's a video where it's a girl's head sort of in a club, like it's like the whole stage has her head on it. And later in the video, the camera pulls back to reveal that she's on a set and the band are playing behind her. So that was sort of the idea for the dig thing. Like, how can we sort of be in a hole, but then do the reveal where we're not? We've just got these things around our necks. The difference being that we were actually able to sort of jump around and play while we had them on, you know? So like, that was the concept. And then just how could we make it more fun and interesting for 3.5 minutes?
Yeah, it really was. And there is a very interesting moment, I think it's in the video, I watched it. I can't remember. But Natalie, you're holding it and you're like, getting used to holding it a little bit as well. So what was that? Was it cardboard? I mean, it couldn't have been. What was it? I want to hear. No, Natalie's going to tell me this one because I can tell she'll give me the clues. Come on.
Well, they were made out of like foam, but they were obviously had mud on top of them, so they're quite heavy. They were fine at first, but they were also, there was a bit of ribbon behind that was attached to our trousers, which obviously just gave you a huge wedgie after a while. And then it also was raining that day, and it was kind of raining then not raining, so we kept having to lug all the equipment inside, and then it would stop raining, and then we'd run out and do it again, and then we'd have to go back in again. And by the end of the day, I was so moody.
I'm glad that you're saying that. I was
James
looking at you like, oh, keep it right there.
I went upstairs for a bath, and then James said I came downstairs, and I was just red in the face and angry.
I got bit by a bug. My foot like swelled up from being in a field for 2 days, and she was just like, "You can walk." It's like, I can't fucking walk. Like, I'm fucked, properly fucked. Yeah, music videos fun.
Yeah, music videos can come. Art is fun. Oh no. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So, when you get together, whether it's been when you meet for rehearsals and things like that, there's two things I really like to know from a band. First thing is, who's always late and who's always on time?
Wow.
So what was the second question?
I'll give you the second one when it's second question time.
Okay.
Well, I mean, like,
So who's on time and who's always late?
Oh, who's on time? All right. Jim's very.
We're both on time. Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah, we're both pretty good.
There's been times where James told me to get there at a time, and then I've ended up there an hour early because he told me earlier, thinking that I'll get there later, and I've got there at time.
Sure. I'll have fucking like, you know, I'll have a full-on breakdown. Like, I would rather be somewhere an hour early and hang about to be there than to, you know, like it stresses me out too much. So I am fucking maybe too punctual, and Tom swings the other way. It's good to have balance, isn't it?
I definitely pull that right back the other way.
We actually have we call it Brooker time. We're running on Brooker time.
Well, we were going to practice from 2 till 4 today, but we did 3 till 5 in the end. So, like,
okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
Even though Brooker knew, he told me it would be 5.
But that's also with James giving Brooker a lift as well. If Brooker had to get places himself, I'm sure we'd never turn up to
I have to make a pilgrimage to Brighton from Hastings to get that lift.
That's true.
That's true.
Oh, so you don't all live in Brighton then? Or you do?
I'm the only person who lives in Brighton at the minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, although we all have lived in Brighton at one point.
Yeah.
But I'm the only one based there now.
Okay.
You're dabbling about going back, aren't you, Nick?
Yeah, I'm looking to go back to Brighton.
Yeah.
I'm in Woking at the moment, but we're all within an hour of each other.
Yeah.
Brighton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for those that are on time, the ones that are late, surely that's annoying.
No, well,
Just trying to stir the pot.
Yeah, of
Well,
course. Yeah.
I don't know. We're all really chilled out, I think.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I think
How long is
Tom
that?
makes up for it in other ways, you know. So we're like, we'll let it slide.
So good. That
The
is
thing is that
so good.
we've known each other for a long enough time that it's part of the territory.
We all know
He
what
knew
to
what
expect
he knew
from
what he
one
was
another.
letting himself in for from the start. Basically, it's not like when you're like, you know, in a new relationship with someone and you're learning all these things about them and you're like, oh man, I didn't realise I was signing up for this. He knew what he was signing up for. So that's all I'm.
And it is also it's better to keep the peace rather than being like fucking Oasis smashing each other over the heads with like cricket bats and that. You know what I mean? It's like keep the peace. Like
Yeah, but you
let's
see,
all get on.
that part of it writes the books and the films, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
All right, fucking, I'll get the cricket bat.
there you go.
outside.
There you
Be
go.
really
Oh,
boring.
give it a few years. Give it a few years. you
Our
know.
film would be really boring because it would just be Jim and Nick stood for an hour and a half, and then I'd show up, and then the film would
And then
end.
we'll just be really passive aggressive, and that would be the film.
I'll be really red and angry.
Yeah. The minimalist arts film.
Oh, brilliant. And the other one I always like to know is when you do get together, what do you eat and drink to keep you going? So, for example, even in the video, like, what did you have for your catering? What do you?
Well, I always make black beans and tofu for breakfast.
Which is
Black beans and tofu.
Delicious.
Lovely.
We're all very proud vegans within this band, so it's all there's no Nick doesn't eat gluten when she can restrain herself from
I'm
pizzas.
allergic, but sometimes I do. Yeah.
But yeah, it keeps it simple. We all, you know, there's no we can just make something that we'll all like together rather than like one person not liking something. You know, it's quite
Yeah.
straightforward really.
Kind of just lentils and beer, really.
lentils and beer, basically. Yeah.
So the beer comes into play. A particular
Oh,
beer?
not really fussy.
Whatever's on ad.
Yeah, wow, yeah.
It's an offer.
I've got quite into pale ale recently, so I bring a bit more of a highbrow approach to our beer drinking. But these guys just get whatever's on offer, I think.
Well,
It's cheap.
this show is only our third show, like ever. So in terms of having to get together for stuff, we haven't actually, you know, we've done a few videos. How many have we done? Like 5 or like maybe 6?
Well, a bunch of them I just
What about six on there, I think?
But I think we end up having a little drinky poo just to like, I don't know, videos are long and like just to loosen up. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, we're vegans and we make sure we have like non-meat sausage is important.
We don't drink
Jim.
Kronenberg.
Jim likes a burg, don't you?
I
That's
do
yours.
like a burg, yeah. Big fan of the burgers.
And tofu burgers are actually quite nice.
Well, I got some good stuff about like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
lots of
and
good.
it's something I just have to say that Jim, you like that T-shirt because I think it features in one of your videos as well.
I actually don't like the t-shirt and it's all sweaty from practice. I'm going to get changed in a bit into something way better, look much fitter, do you know what I mean? It's pretty minging, so I don't know. You can have it if you like, I really don't like it.
It's similar to the bugged out T-shirt, isn't it? I think.
It's exactly
Yeah,
that
it is
t-shirt.
yeah, there you go. It's the one. The very same.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
needs to become one of the worms in the video, really. That's what it needs to. The
Mm.
stripes need to become some of those worms that you've got on the video.
Yeah, right. It's pretty gross. As you can't see because it's below.
Yeah, okay.
What's that? There's some stains down there that you don't want to see. So don't worry about it.
Okay, fine. I'll leave it at that. So tell me what time are you on tonight? Have you got enough
About
time?
10:30.
10:30. If I can stay up as late as that, we're on at 10:30.
Oh,
Which is a
wow. Have you got
bit
the naps?
of a late one.
You can drink though.
I can drink.
You can have the drinks. We're driving.
Yeah.
I can't.
You can do it.
I only like to have one before we play, really, so I have to nurse the death out of it.
That's true. So that's it. You're in the pub now until 10 o'clock.
We've run to a pub round the corner from the practice space we were in, and then after this we've got to like get over to the venue, get loaded in, sound check, and then hang around for hours.
The pub has a vegan kitchen that does roast dinners and pies and things, I think, which I'm particularly
Very
excited about.
excited.
That's the real reason I do this band, to just find good food and eat it.
Just
So,
make,
yeah.
sure you don't make yourselves too full before you perform, otherwise the audience might get some other things coming their way.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, I've got to wear a skirt and a crop top as well, so I'll be like bloated
Oh no.
and
That'll be good. Are you videoing your show tonight?
Yeah, our good friend Corey, who is the person that pretty much for all of our videos, most of our videos, he's the one operating the camera,
Okay.
because that's a bit difficult to do whilst playing the drums. So he's my right hand man. So he's coming along and bringing his camera to shoot some stills and bits. I think he might run up a couple of videos, send them to me to do something fun with. So
Fabulous. And
yeah, in short, yes.
In short, yes. And I have to say, I do like it that you've got the Snake game on your website.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is that still on
I
the
kept,
website?
I kept it on there because
Oh, wow.
that was part of the campaign for the first EP. But I was like, I mean, our name's still got the word snake in it, so I kind of stripped away the stuff that was related to our other EP and just left. Actually, no, I think there's a computer game version of the song Skeletons underneath that you can play along if you want to. I left that there, but I took off the other like marketing stuff, and now you can just play Snake on our website if you're bored. Bit of fun.
Yeah, exactly. I really like it because the more websites I visit, especially since I've been developing YDN, you visit a lot of websites, and websites, they can be really boring. So when you hit a website like yourselves and it's like, oh my gosh, there's a game. Oh, there's something else I can do there. It's just so interactive. Also, it helps the person stay on your website for longer, which is good for statistics.
Ooh, didn't even think about
Sure, get yourself ready for Snakes and Ladders because it's coming in.
Oh
Okay,
God, don't
I'm
challenge me to
there.
find that to embed. That's going to be difficult.
I'm absolutely there. I haven't asked that yet, but I have to get it in a little bit back to writing and all that. I have read, obviously, you write about your influences, Weezer, Nirvana, rock bands like that. But what do you, when you come to write a song, is it about something particular that's happened in your life? Is it a feeling? Is it a vibe? How does it work for you when you write your song, Jim?
I'll use, well, other than I think maybe Skeletons, I think every other song I've just written the music first, and then once I've got the music, I'll just have like notes where I'll write down like nice phrases I hear or like words that are nice. You know, I'll just have a big list of these things, and then once I've got a song finished structurally, I'll start to sort of hum over it and come up with, you know, like melodies and stuff, and then put the words into the melodies, and then after a while it almost writes itself. Like if I've got a phrase, I then know what the subject matter is, and then I'll write around that. I'll write the rest of the words around whatever the thing that I picked, like the phrase I picked out. But with Skeletons, that one just, I was driving home from work and it like donked me on the head, which never happens. But that you know, like I think like that never happens to me. I really have to force them out. It doesn't come naturally, but that one did, you know. But yeah,
it will happen again.
for the most,
once it starts.
yeah.
The experience is there.
Fingers crossed. We've got some other decent ones, I think, that are yet to come out. So
I'm
You
sure.
do quite regularly touch on your own like things from your own experiences, though, don't you? Like little bits and pieces.
yeah, sure. It is.
Inspire stuff.
It's all like, it'll all be either stuff to do with me or friends or family. You know, it's all personal stuff, but like it'll start with a phrase or something, and then it'll be like, okay, how can I relate that to myself and stuff, and then
Yeah, and I wonder
and
if
then
there's,
go from there.
I wonder if there's a song in your head coming about not having internet for a week. And
I mean, it's coming. It's written. There was nothing else to do, you know. So like, it's done. I'll send it to you after this.
I'll look forward to it. Guys, thank you so what? Thank you. What are you doing? Shaking your head. Oh gosh, hold on, my mouse is gone. Let's go back to, there we go. Gallery view for the end.
Thinking
Yeah.
about song names. Dial-up blues, maybe.
That's it.
Death,
You've heard of it.
Death by Wi-Fi. There you go.
Nice.
Oh, well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I know you had a busy day, but it's been wonderful to meet you guys. Keep sending your music because we will play it continuously. We're only going
you.
right then, and yeah, the program is permanently. So thank you so much. It's great that Kirsten was in touch so well as well. So kudos to her for being a great communicator. So thanks for following us, for following you, and it's all fantastic. And thank you so much.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And good luck. And have a great gig. Have a great gig tonight.
Amazing.
you.
Thanks.
Hopefully we catch you sometime in the flesh.
Yeah, definitely.
See you later.
For sure. With a pint.
Yeah, yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Get the food. Great. See you soon, guys.
Take care.
See you later.
Bye.